Customer reported having problems with this Remington 870. Serial number on this one is AB481213M. So when we load the magazine with one shell, so this part is called the carrier. The carrier, upon pushing the foregrip forward, is supposed to rise so that the bolt can get the cartridge in the chamber. In this case, the carrier is not rising, which is really weird because 870s are inherently very reliable shotguns.
What? Can you explain that to me, please? Because
so this is your trigger assembly, and this is the carrier. This is what your bolt rides on, which is called the slide assembly. Now, when the slide assembly comes to the rear, this hole right here is going to catch on this part. This part is called the carrier dog. And this little hook on the carrier dog is going to catch in this little hole. And when it catches in that hole, the carrier rises up to bring the cartridge in line with the chamber. So why isn't it happening in this case?
Well, I still have no idea why you're telling me all this.
Well, I should have known this when I first picked up the shotgun, but I tend to have tunnel vision sometimes. The day before the customer came and we talked about the problem, I was convinced that the problem resided within the trigger group. It's not. The problem is this heat shield. This bracket right here holding the heat shield on causes the foregrip to not come to the rear far enough, just a little bit, about 1/3 of an inch, and prevents the slide assembly from engaging the carrier dog.
A cutout on the bottom of the slide engages the carrier dog. As the slide moves forward, downward force is put on the carrier, acting as a lever to lift the shell up.
So I did a little bit of research online and found this Halo 2 heat shield by ATI, but it doesn't say what model shotgun. It just says it's just very general. Does suggest that it may need fitting. Here's some downloadable instructions, but nothing.
It says file not found.
Now that we have this heat shield off, this is a plastic ring that sits at the rear of the heat shield right here in front of the receiver, at the rear of the barrel. And this is the part that's preventing the foregrip. So to demonstrate that, so it's working properly now because the bolt is able to come to the rear farther. So this is the ring, this is the plastic ring that was preventing the foregrip from coming to the rear. And this is the top of the barrel. And this is what's preventing the foregrip from traveling. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this plastic ring right here and right here.
get on with it.
And that's going to allow this part to still lock in with the heat shield, and it's still going to come around the barrel enough to hold on to it, but the foregrip will pass under this piece of plastic. Now, maybe that's what they meant in the instructions when it said that it had to be fit, but of course we don't have access to the instructions, so I don't know what it actually said, and this is the first time I've actually seen this product. So we're going to go ahead and try that. We're going to reassemble it and see if it works out.
Will you tell us what action you took then?
Now we got this plastic ring at the rear modified. We got it cut short so it doesn't come down so far around the barrel. And it looks like the foregrip clears beautifully. Let's load it up and make sure it works. Awesome. You know, this is probably what the original manufacturer intended. We can't know that, of course, because we don't have the original instructions. But that's probably what they meant for us to do. Now, when I first made this modification, I wasn't sure that this was going to be sturdy enough. But it seems to be. I mean, that's locked down to the barrel quite well, and it's mostly because of this construction up here. It has less to do with the ring and how far down the ring came around the barrel. This is really just a spacer to keep the metal guard off the barrel just a hair. But it's worked out really well. That's probably what they intended, but you know, we had to figure that out on our own because we didn't have anything to go by.
And that's how it's done.
And that's how it's done.
Thanks for watching, people.